In this video, we are going to see how we can deal with the indirect expenses by using the write checks option in QuickBooks. So let's get started. So basically, whatever is the non-trading transaction has two choices to be dealt in QuickBooks. Either we can do the journal entry, or what we can do is you can do the write checks as well. As we have discussed it before as well, but let me just show you. In this transactions, one is of 12th of January of traveling expenses paid by check, and one is of 14th January repair expenses paid by check. Now, since this is of two separate dates, that's why we cannot enter it in a single transaction, because the document will have a single date. That's why. So let's do this with write checks first. I'll go to the write checks, and Bank of America is already set. We can check, and let's copy and paste here. And this is an expense, right? So let's check for traveling expenses. Now, I haven't created this account because we have selected a particular industry type at the starting when we created the company. So only that's why it's showing this travel expenses by default. Some of the ledgers is already created. So this is 5,000. You can paste this one in memo as well. Let's confirm the date. And if you want to change the check number just for the reconciliation purposes, by default, it will give you any number according to QuickBooks sequence. But if you want to change, you can click on print and click on check. So first of all, it will save the transaction, and then it will ask you for the check number, which is 8800. Let's click OK. You can print an XPS document, save it anywhere, and let's save. So this is how we do the indirect expenses. Let's go to the reports and click on transaction journal to see the effect. Travel expenses as an indirect expense is debit, and we have a credit of Bank of America. Now, if we had both of these transactions on a single date, we can enter it on the second line. But since the date is different, we cannot do this. So I'll go to save and new, and the next transaction is also entered from here. Otherwise, if you want to treat it from the company and make journal entries, you can do that as well. In that case, you will mention the entry number as the check number, like 8801 here. So let's see, as of 14th January, we will mention the entry number of 8801. Or in fact, what we can do is just keep the entry number as it is and write repair and maintenance expenses here. Amount will be 55,000. And instead of changing the entry number with the check number, we can paste it in the memo as well. Press tab, and we are paying it by Bank of America, right? So this is the complete entry. We can do it this way as well. So because I have mentioned the check number in the memo, we can still trace it in the reconciliation. So let's save and close. And this is how we treat the indirect expenses in QuickBooks. We can do write checks and we can do the journal entries as well.